we have a choice between doing something that adds to the level of mercy in the world or the level of misery in the world, every single time, ethical people choose mercy. And then he goes into the degree to which animals suffer on factory farms and slaughterhouses, in circus training camps, in hunting and fishing. And he says, for people of integrity, he puts it people of faith, these are issues that should concern us. And the fact that we're not confronted with it on a daily basis, the fact that when you go to KFC and order a bucket of chicken, they don't say, here are the external costs, here's the suffering, here's the global poverty, here's the environmental harm, makes it all the more important that people of ethics, people of integrity, that we go out of our way to learn what's happening. He makes the very real point, cogent point. You can combat this point, please stand up and question and answer. And I'd be interested in hearing it, because nobody has yet, that there's no difference between eating a cat and a chicken. Ethically speaking, you can't come up with a cogent argument for why eating a cat is any different from eating a chicken, or why eating a dog is any different from eating a pig. Would anybody in here eat the cat in the upper left-hand corner? Her name is Gracie. She's perfect. She looks off the edible. Any takers? Not that I'm offering. There's almost always at least a few. So we have a few people who would eat Gracie. We can talk afterwards. You're in trouble. But, so there's at least some ethical integrity in saying, yes, I eat a cat. And consequently, it's okay for me to eat a chicken. The people who would not eat a cat or would not eat a dog are in a world of hurt, explaining what the difference is, philosophically, ethically, for people of integrity between eating the cat and eating the chicken, between eating the dog and eating the pig. Because in fact, on cognition tests, the one thing anybody ever comes up with is, chickens are stupid or pigs are stupid. In fact, on cognition tests, chickens and pigs do quite a bit better than dogs or cats. Both chickens and pigs have a capacity for foresight. Pigs play video games better than 3-year-old children and better than chimpanzees. And we've got video of this. It is the cutest thing other than racing in the world. If you go to goveg.com or PETATV.com and scroll down to educational videos, you can see chickens navigating mazes, chickens learning from one another and learning from television, pigs playing video games. They put the joystick in their mouth and control the cursor like that. Is awesome. But their cognitive level, according to animal behaviorists, is approximately that of a 4-year-old human child. Chickens have cognitive abilities beyond 1-year-old human children. So really, if you wouldn't eat a dog or a cat, there's no cogent argument for why it's acceptable to eat a chicken or a pig or a cow or a fish. That, and then just the basic argument of basic integrity is what did it for me. I know we have some people in the audience who would slit animals' throats open. My hunch is that most of you wouldn't want to spend some time in a slaughterhouse slicing chickens' throats open. But let's get a show of hands. How many people here would be willing to work for an afternoon slitting chickens' throats open? It's a smaller proportion than I thought. For those of you who wouldn't do that, it's worth asking why you think it's acceptable to pay other people to do that. I mean, for me, the argument of basic integrity is I don't want to pay other people to do things that I wouldn't do personally. I have about a dozen of this shirt that says, "Ask me why I'm a vegetarian." And I love the shirt because even people who don't ask, and I'm walking on, getting onto Amtrak or walking around the mall or whatever else, and everybody sees it, and so their synapses flare, and they have to think about why I might be a vegetarian. But a lot of people do ask, and I try to get around in the conversation as quickly as possible. I start with, "Thanks for asking, are you a vegetarian?" Almost inevitably it's no. Well, what do you think of slaughtering animals? Well, I wouldn't personally slaughter animals. Well, you know that you're paying people to slaughter animals for you, right? If you're getting meat. Percy Bysshe Shelley said about his vegetarianism, "I want no part of anything I can't write a pleasant poem about." I can't write a pleasant poem about anything, I'm not a poet, but I like the concept. I want no part of anything I can't write a pleasant poem about. Every aspect of getting beans and grains and fruits and vegetables to the table, everybody in this room could take part in. But about 95% of you did not raise your hand for, "I'd be happy to slice animals' throats open." So where is the basic integrity in paying people to do something unnecessary that not only do most of us not want to do it, most of us don't even want to watch it. And not only do most of us not want to watch it, most of us don't even want to think about it. And yet every time we sit down to eat, if we're choosing to eat meat, we're basically saying, yes, this is okay with me. I would like to pay you to do this to animals. It's actually quite a bit worse, though, than simple slaughter. And chickens are probably the most abused animals on the face of the planet. That's why the slide is titled that way. We slaughter about 100 times as many chickens as pigs in this country. We slaughter about 200 times as many chickens as cattle. For anybody who's going to go incrementally vegetarian, most people do this in exactly the wrong direction. You know, if you're going to go incrementally vegetarian, give up the small animals first, not the big animals. Take you a while to knock out a cow, whereas you can knock out, you know, if a chicken has 2 wings, you eat 2 wings, boom, you just killed a chicken, right? And the level of abuse, certainly for cattle and pigs, it's felony level if we did it to dogs or cats. For chickens, as Alice Walker said, eating chickens is eating misery. Chickens now grow their upper body more than 6 times as quickly as they did just 50 years ago. They suffer from, according to the industry, death losses of 1% per week. Imagine any conditions that kill 1% of the population every single week. Their lungs fail, their hearts collapse, their legs cripple at a rate of 1% per week. They're cooped in their own excrement, 30 to 50,000 birds. That's what a chicken show looks like. 1% of them down per week. Dozens every single day in that shed. Breast blisters from being unable to walk, just laying and living in their own excrement. The level of abuse is really beyond the pale. Of course, for pigs, they're castrated without pain relief. Their teeth are ripped out without pain relief. For cattle, they're inflicted with 3rd-degree burns without pain relief. They're put on a cycle of impregnation and having their babies taken away from them. I mean, it's all bad. But chickens, turkeys, and fish certainly get it worse. This is the question, would you slit their throats? I want to show about 2 minutes of a video. It's narrated by Alec Baldwin. It's called Meat Your Meat. PETA is anti-copyright. You can download this for free and distribute it however you like at meatyourmeat.com online. I'm just going to show about 2 minutes because our time is short, but I do encourage everybody who eats meat especially to take the time to watch the entire video. So at least if you're going to eat meat, you're informed about what you're supporting. Video is that nobody was prosecuted for anything on this video. Every time we go undercover, we find sadistic abuse of animals in chicken farms and pig farms, in all slaughterhouses. Human Rights Watch called slaughterhouse conditions in the United States for workers. They called it America's human rights crime because the workers are treated so abysmally in these places. And sadly, because they're treated so badly, they end up taking out their frustrations on animals. And so if you go to our website and look at the videos and pull down to investigations, you can see pig farmers skinning pigs alive. You can see them raping mother pigs with metal gate rods. You can see them blowing up chickens with homemade pipe bombs made out of soda bottles. You can see them ripping the animals limb from limb and throwing them at walls and stomping up and down on them. We didn't put it in Meat Your Meat because we were able to get prosecutions in some of those cases. But every time we go undercover, that's what we find. Meat Your Meat, standard abuses. You know, this is what you're supporting if you're eating meat. Just another couple of words on the chicken industry. They get about twice as many drugs, calorie per calorie, go into chickens to keep them growing quickly and to keep them alive for conditions that would otherwise kill them, than go into pigs or cattle. At slaughter, there's only one federal law that protects farmed animals in any way. Farmed animals are completely exempt from animal cruelty laws while they're on the farm, during transportation. The one law that protects farmed animals at all is the Humane Methods of Slaughter Act.